What is going on, Gooners and Goonerettes? Good to see you guys. What a rainy day it is out here. It's absolutely crazy and insane, but big shout out to everybody who's made the effort to truck outside and deal with this weather. Let's talk about Mykhaylo Mudryk, which is what everybody wants to discuss, and I'll give you the latest right here. But before I do that, if you guys ain't subscribed, hit that subscribe button now and join the channel. Join not just the channel, but the one-on-one community as a whole. There's a link to the forum below. There's about 4,000 people in there. It's daily banter. I know you guys will enjoy it. If you love that kind of thing, then join us and share your views, have your say, and join the podcasts. But moving on to Mykhaylo Mudryk. Now, Mykhaylo has been very respectful to the directors and the negotiators, and he's basically said to them, look, I want to join Arsenal as soon as possible. He's not going to put in a transfer request out of respect, but he's told them, get the job done. And that is helping to apply that pressure that we talked about. We know where the two stances are on both of the clubs. Fabrizio Romano has been very straightforward in saying that they are talking on a daily basis. We are aware of that. I'm hearing that they're already at Arsenal making plans to suit him up in hotels in the UK. But outside of that, what the two sides are saying is Arsenal, who offered 40 million and 20 million in incentives. Then the second bid was for 50 million with incentives on top of that. The third bid is somewhere around the 60 million region. So they've gone up in increments of 10 million. But the third bid hasn't put forward because Arsenal don't want that to be rejected. It has to be an agreement. We have to come to some sort of an agreement, a negotiation with Shakhtar bosses before the bid goes in. And until that happens, we won't see it being facilitated. But we are close, guys. Shakhtar, where it is at the moment now, have been saying that they don't want to budge on that 100 million euros, 88 million pounds offering that they would accept for the player. And Arsenal have been very clear that this is their last bid. They are not going to be even getting close to that figure. So there has to be some kind of a compromise. And Mykhaylo has come into the fore by saying, guys, get it done. I want to play for Arsenal. I want to go there now. You have got shots of him actually in his winter training that he's hugging teammates despite the ongoing transfer saga that's going on. He's currently in that tussle with his agent and Arsenal and his club. He's still in Turkey with the rest of the squad for the mid-season training camp. Remember, Shakhtar don't play again until they face Rennes in the Europa League on the 16th of February. So they'll be hoping that they'll be able to get this sorted out well before then so that they can actually even try and bring in a replacement for him. And like I said, he was seen spotting, training, and then hugging his teammates. So I think that that's really kind of in one way him saying his goodbyes to the teammates and trying to tell them, you know, I guess every day they're coming up to him saying, what's going on, bro? You still here? And he's saying, look, man, I'm training. I got to do what I got to do before this is all sorted out. So you can see that there's a little bit of banter that's been going on there. And good to see his spirits are still high. But the onus is now is for Shakhtar now to come down to an agreement. It looks like that's what they're doing at the moment. They're just talking about now incentives and percentages on bonuses. What type of incentives? Where do Arsenal finish in the league? Whether they make the Champions League, how many goals he scores. If Arsenal in the next 3 or 4 years decide to sell him on to Real Madrid or Barcelona, and then he goes for some crazy amount, then Shakhtar will get 10% of whatever that fee is. So say if he goes for 100 million, then Shakhtar will get 10 or 15 million out of that deal. And what that does is that kind of surpluses their demands to say that, look, we wanted 100 million for him now. If Arsenal could let them know, look, if there's a possibility he could stay at Arsenal for his whole career, or there's a possibility that he could move on. But if he does move on, we'll make sure that you get a piece of the pie. That might help to settle the bridges. That might help to build the bonds and for Shakhtar to say, okay, then, so we will drop down to somewhere around 80 million euros if something like that will happen. So that's where I can see this deal happening at the moment now. So I can see something like that happening to push this deal forward. What I can see is something like 60 million and then maybe 15 to 20 million in incentives, and then the whole package being around 80 million. That's what I can see happening at the moment. And Shakhtar seem to be playing ball. They're closer to the table than they've always been. And it seems like once these percentages and incentives are ironed out, that we could see a deal happening over the next 3 or 4 days. So listen, thanks for you guys for keeping up with the channel. And as soon as I hear any news, I'll hit you up as soon as possible. But guys, we've got to look forward to Spurs on the weekend.